Hey guys, Frank the Pest Geek here. Well, it's the rainy season in Florida, and it's basically hurry up and wait. This morning it was raining. I got woken up around 4 something with the most horrendous thunder, and it just woke me up. And I got up, started working, and got out of the house around 8. Made a 50-mile drive from Miami to Fort Lauderdale to handle 2 clients, and I'm currently at one of the homes. And then I got to go up to Pompano. So today is my north day. We've broken up the territories into parts of Dade, into 5 territories, and then now we're handling Broward on Tuesdays or Thursdays, depending on the weather, because this is how it is right now. It will rain probably for the next hour or two. Looking at my map here, let me show you something. I don't know if you can see that in the camera, but there it goes. That's what I'm facing right now. So I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to use my time wisely, spend some time with you guys, because I probably got an hour. I'm probably going to be able to do an entire show on sales for technicians. I've been wanting to do this for a long while. Haven't had the time to sit in the studio and actually do this because I'm on the road now. I'm doing service from the road, and well, that's the only place you can do most services from, unless you've got virtual services. So I'm just spending a lot more time on the road, is what I meant to say. Where I'm usually in my office or at home, which is the same place. Now my office is my truck again, and I wanted to talk about sales for technicians, and this is primarily for technicians and owners that have been turned technician, turned owner, but guys like me that have been involved in sales for a long time, that come from corporate. I started out selling door to door, selling when I was, I think, 16 or 17. I started selling door to door commercial printing. I was going to businesses, knocking on their door, saying, "Do you need business cards? Do you need letterheads? Do you need envelopes?" This was back in 1987 through 89, basically, and I was selling. Then I went into computer programming. I became a tech for about 4 years, and then I got into sales. Mostly I got into management, and then I got into sales, and I got into retail management, and I got into business to business sales. I was doing B2C, B2B. I was doing, I became a national sales contract manager, managing a territory for 26 states that ranged about $13 million in subcontractor agreements. That's what I used to sell. So I could negotiate subcontractor agreements. I had my own food delivery company, food service, that we provided specialty foods for vending, for gas stations and convenience stores. I sold Mexican food products, and those were my major customers. I had that for a while. So I've been involved in business and management and in sales since I was about 16 years old, and I'm 50 now. And I've done wholesale, retail, um, you know, data sales, phone sales, in-person sales, and the sales that I actually enjoy are more the strategic, long-term. Hey, let us get the product in here. Let you try it. And pest control is different. Pest control is totally home service businesses, for the most part, are transactional sales. In other words, I show up, I quote you the price, you like it. You call me up on the phone, I email you, text you, quote you the price, you like it, and we get together and we get this done within the next week. And then I sign you up on a recurring program. It's either one time. The relationship building doesn't happen really in the short sales process, although you have to build rapport with the client. It is much shorter versus, hey, I'm taking an order every single week from you. because you need to replenish, and we build a relationship. And as you build your second store, or you get more stores, or I negotiate a contract for your one shop, and then all of a sudden, we're negotiating a contract for 5 or 6 shops that you're growing. It's just different sales requires different aptitudes. I'm more of a consultative salesperson. I basically, you call me, I do an assessment of your need, and then I let you know what your options are. This idea, and I'm going to get you for salespeople for technicians that are out there, that I only sell people what they need. You're absolutely wrong, totally wrong in what you're asserting, because as a salesperson, you sell people what they want. People buy an emotion, they buy what they want, and they'll buy it from who they like most and who they relate to the most. This idea that you only sell people what they need, it is not up to you sometimes to determine what people need. And I'm going to put a caveat on that. I show up to a property and we sell 3 services right now. We're going to start hopefully selling a 4th as soon as I get certified. But we do general household pests, ants, roaches, your general pest for homes. We sell mosquito control service or reduction service. We sell lawn and ornamental services. That includes tree service, fruit care service, shrub care, systemic, palm tree fertilizing. We sell a bunch of different products. So when we show up to a property, well, guess what? Every home has a landscape. Every home has a home. And every home that lives in Florida is going to have mosquitoes. The question becomes to the customer, do the mosquitoes bother the customer enough that they want my service? See, I don't sell them what they need. I might show up in the middle of the day and there's mosquitoes biting, and there are other times I will show up and they're not biting. It is my job to tell the client and inform the client, by the way, hey, listen, you've got weeds on your lawn. Would you like us to service those weeds? You have palm trees. They need fertilizer. Would you have us to fertilize your palm trees? You have these specific shrubs that get this specific insect. Would you like us to treat those shrubs for you? You have mosquito. You have a home that has, hey, I found a couple of holes. Would you like us to exclude it? In other words, it is for me to offer the client the services we have and sell across the line, which selling is offering. And the way we do it is we inform the customer that we have the service. We inform them that they have a need. We educate them on that need. And then we ask to see if they want it. If the customer says yes, we have a sale. If the customer says no, then we got to find out why the customer is saying no. Is it they don't feel they have a need? They're happy with the way their shrubs look. They don't need the nicest looking shrubs. They don't need the nicest looking palm trees. They don't go outside, and they don't care if they have mosquitoes because they don't have grandchildren. The grandchildren don't come in the pool. As a matter of fact, they're thinking of selling the house and going into a condo. But it is our job to offer an upsell. And what is the difference between a cross-sell and an upsell? A cross-sell is where we sell across all of the services that we have: lawn, mosquito, home, and then hopefully termite. We have 4 major species of termite in Florida. We have, drywood termites. We have formosan. We have subterranean, and now we have a conehead termite. And, are they going to need a protection for their home for any of these services? They don't have a problem right now. What about installing stations? In other words, what most of you guys get all hung up on and get your panties in a wringer about is that, well, I'm not going to sell all these services because I feel like I'm taking advantage of them. It is not for you to ever decide when a customer stops buying or starts buying. It is your job as a salesperson to offer the customer the options. Let them decide when they stop buying. When a husband goes out on a weekend and he goes to the golf shop and he decides he's going to buy a pair of golf clubs and spend $5,000 on a pair of golf clubs, The salesman, if he's smart, he says, by the way, you need golf shoes. Do you have golf shoes? You need golf gloves, by the way. Do you need a cart for your gloves? Would you like to buy a golf cart? We sell golf carts. And it's his job to keep offering until the customer says stop or the customer says no. Does he want a new golf shirt? Does he want new golf shorts? You see, it is for you to determine the need of the customer and the want and let them decide when they stop buying. This is a major problem because we don't want to sound like we're pushy on people. I got a piece of tomato seed or pepper in my tooth. Sorry about that. Anyway, you see, so do you believe in the company you work for? I mean, do you believe that the company you work for is a good company? Do they treat you well? A lot of the big hang-ups that salespeople have is that they don't believe their product is worth what the company is asking for it. You're doing a $1, $2, $3 million home, and here you are afraid of asking for $2,000 to $3,000 to do a termite job because you think, oh my gosh, that's only at 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours worth of work. It should only be $1,000 or $1,500, and you don't feel comfortable with selling somebody a $2,000, $3,000 job for $1 million home that you have to protect. That once they sign on the bottom line, you're responsible. You own it. You bought it. Do you believe in your product? Do you believe in the company that you work for? Do you believe that you're the best technician for them and that your time is valuable and that if you're on production and you're making 18, 15, 20%, that you owe it to that customer to charge them what it really costs? You owe it to yourself. You owe it to the company. You owe it to your family to charge for what your time is worth, because you only have, like right now, if I charge what I thought this is worth, I got companies here selling $49 lawn care programs, which is ridiculous. This house right here that I'm at right now is $250 a month. We're competing with $49 companies. But why? Look, I'm here in my car waiting now for an hour until this storm passes so that I can serve them, because there's no way I'm going to spray this property and do what we do while it is raining. Our production gets cut. We need to be able. So the other guys, I've seen them drive by, land on the house, leave a ticket, and never do a darn thing, and then put that they used Heritage, and they never saw them pull out the hose. That's not the company you work for. That's not the technician you are, because they give them 15 to 20 a day at $49, $59, $89 lawns. There's no way you can do that many lawns in a day, not do it right. This is a pretty big property, about 14,000 square feet. It's got a lot of shrubs, and we're doing a holistic program, and it's expensive, and we charge expensive. We don't have a problem. This is a $3 million house on the water. We don't have a problem selling a super premium service to a super premium client and asking them to pay 3 to 4 times what the competition is charging, because the competition is not giving them the results. And it requires attention. We're here on a monthly basis doing the lawn. We're here on a monthly basis doing the pest control for the home. We're here every 14 days on mosquito. These are $500 a month for all this package. And we have no problems looking at a customer straight in the eye. Why? Because the customer doesn't have a problem going to the jewelry store and spending $13,000 on a Breitling watch. They don't have a problem driving a $250,000, $300,000 Bentley. They don't have a problem spending $80,000 on a Mercedes, for that matter. So who is your client? What are you selling? What is the quality that, if you're just providing a basic spray and pray service, well then yeah, you got nothing, you have no unique selling proposition. But if you have a unique selling proposition like we do, and we have something the client wants and it's exclusive because they can't get it right now from anywhere else, we can demand more for our product. So you got to be able to communicate effectively as a salesperson. The problem that technicians turn salespeople or technicians that get thrown into a technical role, and a lot of companies are being acquired right now, and these companies are sales driven, and they expect everyone to sell. And the problem that you have is you're not a salesperson. You're not born. Listen, salespeople are lions, and most technicians are lambs. That's the DNA. And you know what? At my company, I accept that. That I'm not going to hire, if I hire 1 out of 10 that has the DNA to sell, he's going to sell. And if he doesn't feel comfortable, it's not in his DNA, he's not wired for it, he's not going to. The difference is what we can't do in an organization is say, well, if you're not sales driven, you can't be here, then you got to find sales driven, you got to go work somewhere else. What we do is say, listen, the opportunity is there for you to make more if you're willing to sell. But you got to believe in the product. And first of all, if you don't believe in the product and you don't believe in the company, you shouldn't even be working for us. It's that simple. Because we need people that believe in what we do, because we offer something that nobody else does. And we sell a brand promise to a client, and we honor that brand promise. So you got to be able to show them the problem. This is simple. You show them the problem, you educate them on the problem, and then you ask. And you got to embrace the no. Because the no doesn't mean, listen to me, tech, the no doesn't mean they rejected you. They rejected your proposal. Why did they reject your proposal? There is no need, there's no desire, or you simply didn't create enough value to show them why they need it. It's a lot of the time is timing. They don't need it right now. They don't have the money right now. They didn't budget that. You are a new company. Maybe you're the 4th company they've had, and you still have to prove yourself to them that you're going to be reliable in the other things that they've given you, and then they will give you more. But your job is to continue to ask all the time. If you're there, the cheapest service to sell is the one that you're there already offering, and the cheapest customer to acquire is the one you already have, because you don't have to spend the marketing dollars. What companies and technicians don't understand a lot of the time is when you're spending that 10% advertising budget and you have a 50% close ratio and you have a high sales commission, that acquiring new clients is very expensive. It's easier to make a cross sale or an upsell. What is the difference between a cross sell? A cross sell is when you sell, hey, we sell mosquito service. Why don't we add this on? We're here once a month anyway. Why don't we add it on for this price? We're saving you X amount because we don't have to make a special trip here for you. That's a cross sell. An upsell is a complementary. In other words, hey, a lot of companies are doing this. I see that you have pets. Chances are you're going to get fleas in the future. Why don't we add on the flea and tick service to that, which is complementary to your home? We might do an application, we might do not. Why don't we some companies sell it almost as an insurance policy. They charge you an extra $3-4 a month, and if you ever get it, it's covered. That's an upsell. The upsell would be, to give you an example, you buy a cow, okay? You buy a cow, and now you need hay. Hey, by the way, with this cow, you can buy the monthly hay program that gets automatically shipped to your house every month, so you have enough hay to feed the cow. That's an upsell versus a cross-sell, which you're selling other products that you sell. And it can easily be done by anyone. But you got to get over that fear of rejection, feel that you're being pushy. Simply offer it. If they say no, you know what? If you get, here's why it's very hard. I got a friend who's a very close friend, and he's a police chief. And before he was a police chief, he's assistant police chief. Before he was that, he was an officer, and he was a street cop, and he had a quota on tickets. And basically, the quota on tickets, this was the explanation he got from his supervisor. It says it is impossible for you to be on the road every single day and not see a violation, not see the guy that didn't stop, not see the guy that took that red light, not see the guy that's speeding through a neighborhood. It's impossible. It is impossible for you as a technician to have a route with 300 clients and tell me that 300 clients don't need a mosquito add-on service, that 300 clients don't need a lawn service, that they don't need, because they do, you're just not asking. And the CSRs are not asking. And the owner is not asking. It's impossible. It's a numbers game. If you go ahead and you offer it to enough people, you will make sales. The difference between a salesperson and a technician that sells is the technician is just offering other services to his clients, and if they say no, not to take it as a personal I failed and everybody's telling me no, is if you task enough people, some will say yes, and you take that burden off of you that you have to make the sale, because what it is adding on to your paycheck. You need an extra 10, 15, 20% increase in your paycheck. Sales is the best way to do it. So it is not a rejection of you. It is a rejection of your offer. It's timing is everything. They might remember it now, but if you come by every month and you have a door hanger that you leave and says, by the way, we also offer this. If you send an email once a month with a work order, on the work order it says we also sell. I mean, marketing should be cross-marketing. The marketing department should be creating marketing material that if you hand an invoice, if you hand a work order, if you hand somebody, it tells them about your services. It helps you, and then you just write them up. Here is the most common, there's three common things that I hear from non-salespeople that are not salespeople that don't have a sales DNA. And here's why they don't have it. The salesperson has a hardwire that they thrive on rejection, while the technician, who's a pure technician, sees rejection and wants to run away from it. They can't handle it. One is a lion who is a predator. You know, salespeople are hunters and technical people are gatherers. And somewhere in between, there's a mix. And you will find yourself maybe in the middle of this mix. Maybe you're you're totally extroverted and you don't like to talk to people. You don't like to communicate with people. You're a terrible communicator. You try to talk to people and you stumble over your words and you don't enjoy that process. You could do it once because everyone sells. Daniel Pink's book, Everyone Sells, is true. Everyone sells. It is how you do it and the frequency that you do it and that you actually enjoy it. For instance, salespeople are interviewing for a job every time they make a sales call. They enjoy that process. You, on the other hand, would want to interview for one job. Let's say you're over on this extreme. You would like to interview for one job and have that job for the rest of your life because you don't want to ever have to go through that grueling process of interviewing and finding a job. It is grueling. Just like dating. You know, I don't enjoy the dating scene. I would rather find someone and settle down with and marry that person and live with them for the rest of my life so I don't ever have to deal with this process again. That's what sales is like. It's a process of interviewing for a job every day, and some people thrive and enjoy it and other people don't. Other people say, I can't prospect. I don't enjoy going out there and cold calling. I do great one-on-one. If the person calls me, then I will go ahead and I will talk to them about my product, but I don't enjoy the prospecting. And the prospecting is where you make the big money. The more no's you get in prospecting, the closer you are to a yes. It's a simple numbers game. If you knock on 100 doors, you're going to get 10 sales. It's purely a numbers game. So the more no's, the more people you talk to, you say, hey, you probably don't need pest control right now, but I'm offering it to you anyway. Are you interested in pest control? And they say no. That's when you just move on to the next one and you say, forget about you. Why am I going to waste time convincing you when you don't have a need, a desire, you don't have the ability to pay or the willingness to pay for pest control? The reality is, if you knock on doors, only 20% of people on average have ever used a pest control company. So the chances of you selling is really 1 in 10 at best. And if they have a pest control company now, are they willing to switch? These are all the things that we deal with in sales that the average technician doesn't have the mental and emotional energy to do if you're not wired. This is why the soft sell approach of, hey, I'm here. Do you mind if I tell you about my products? We sell lawn service, we sell mosquito. And if they say, no, not right now, thank you, you say thank you and you move on. It's that simple. There's no need for you to have to keep drilling it into them. So, you're doing consultative selling, you're doing upselling, you're doing cross-selling. These are the things that you need to really focus on. Asking for referrals, that's sales. People are so afraid to ask for referrals. Hey, do you know anybody that might need the service? I don't ask, give me one person. One person that you talk to that might need my service? Don't ask them for a list of 10. Ask them for one. So getting reviews. Hey, by the way, if I did a good job for you, can you do me a favor? Can you give me a review? My company really rewards us for that. And, we get contests every month. And if I'm doing well, I do better. Can you give me a review online and mention my name? That's selling. You're selling. Remember, it's about getting people. Selling is about getting people what they need. And you're just the agent between you, and you're a liaison between the company to get the customer what they want or need. And everybody buys what they want. People buy emotionally. They don't buy logically. We justify buying with logic. But tell me, what customer needs a $5,000 pair of golf clubs? What customer needs to drive a Maserati? There's an emotional need that they have. They don't need a Maserati. They want to show that they have prestige. They've arrived. It's all emotional, and we justify it with logic. Everything is emotional. So those are the things, using the material, clover leafing, leaving door hangers, sending emails, sending texts, all the time. You're always marketing, you're always selling, you're always closing. You should be always prospecting, and you have to make this part of your routine. For some of you, it's going to be harder. For some of you, it's going to be easier. What I tell people is the opportunity is there for you if you want it. If you don't, look, I got trouble with text calling people and telling them I'm going to be late. They're so introverted. They're going to be like, not be able to make it because, look, I got stops to make. I can't spray at night, 8 o'clock at night. I'm not going to be out on the road until 8 o'clock at night. I got to finish by a certain time. So, calling people. So you got to quote with confidence. Here's what I want you to do about quoting and quoting your price, believing in your price, believing in the company. You quote with confidence. When you never quote without first presenting the benefits of why they need your service. Don't sell people bells and whistles, buttons. You sell the benefit of what they're going to enjoy by having your program, your pest control program. What is the benefit for them? And I think I just got my target delivery to this company because they were going to deliver to me because I told them where I was at. So, yep, I think this is him right there. Give me a minute. I'm going to be right back. All right, I'm back. So, talking about presenting, you always, always, always sell the value. The biggest mistake I see guys who are technical people is, what do you charge for the lawn? And they just blur out the price and they quote the price. Or, they stammer like, oh, well, it depends, on what you want. And, don't dance around, man. You evaluate, you say, listen, you got this issue, here's the benefit, we're going to deal with the infection, we're going to deal with this is what we're doing, and by the way, it's only this much more a month, and you quote that with confidence, and then you shut up. The problem that most people make that are not salespeople, they keep talking, and they keep trying to sell it after they've already, once you got a chance to present, tell your story, like being in court, then you quote your price, and then you shut up. And you wait for them. The first guy that talks owns it. And you wait for the customer to say, well, that's a lot more than we thought. Yeah, it usually is. If you'll, authorize it right here, I'll get you started next month. You totally ignore the objections. The objections are either smoke screens or they're real and they say, well, no, I can't afford that at this time. What can you really afford? Maybe we can scale back the program. Maybe we do the lawn 1 month and we do the shrubs the next. You work it out for the client. You give them options until they keep saying no. Once the customer says, no, we're not going to do it, this is just not too much, that's fine. There'll be another opportunity. So you want to do that. You want to try to sell up the ladder. You want to sell down the ladder. Sell the ladder. If you got a minimum, you're doing a mosquito service, you're selling up the ladder to the next one and saying, hey, why don't we do your home? Hey, why don't we do your lawn? Hey, why don't we do your termite? And you're selling up the ladder. Or if you start with termite, which is the most expensive service you have, hey, why don't, after we do your termite, why don't we talk about the pest control in your home? Why don't we talk about a rodent program? Well, look, you got these holes. Why don't we talk about exclusion? And you're selling down the ladder. So, you start out at the most expensive product you have, that's what you're there for. And then you sell them lower price products going down. You start with a low price at the bottom and you work your way up to selling them the most expensive. The whole issue with selling is that you're building a relationship throughout the year and throughout the years so that when they do have a legitimate need, you're the first person they think about, not another company. You want them to have top of mind awareness of you as their technician. And if you move to another company, who knows, they might follow you there and you get to help the other company. So those are the things that I have for you on sales, on selling for non salespeople. That don't let the word sales throw you off. Don't let the word sales, intimidate you. You're finding a need. You're finding a desire. You're playing detective, and you're telling people about how great your services are, and then you're quoting. Look, if right now you were the scientist that had the cure for COVID, would you keep it quiet? No, you wouldn't. You would tell everybody. Tell everybody about what you do. Tell everybody about the things you do. Get excited. If you're not excited about your product, your brand, the company you work for, then maybe you should be doing something else. Because there's no sense to get up every morning and do something you hate. Hey, this is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a pestacular day.